one of the most impactful interactions that I had over the last couple of years was I took care of a patient who was a patient of mine initially at the nursing home, and who then went home and became an Emerald patient. But her medical condition was one that it was really difficult for her to come out of her home to the office, so I started seeing her at home. And I took care of her for only a really short time because she had a condition that was like ALS, or Lou Gehrig's disease, and it was rapidly progressive. And it was one of the most intense and beautiful experiences I've had in medicine, where I was visiting her one day, and she had not signed up yet to be on hospice, and yet it was pretty clear that that would be something that was really would be helpful to her, and that she wasn't going to get better. And I sat across from her at her breakfast bar, and she was in a specialized wheelchair because she didn't have muscle control, and her daughter had left the room, and I just brought up the topic of whether or not hospice would be something she might be interested in. And she was able to say that she understood that she was going to die, and that it was something that she wanted to be at home, and that she really appreciated me actually saying something about it. So we arranged for that, and I went to see her a couple of days later, and I sat with her. I brought a book that I have that my kids love, and it's called The Quilt Maker's Journey. And this woman had a really intense spiritual belief, and it just gave so much in her life to so many people. And this book is about a woman who secretly brings quilts to people who are homeless. She makes them, and then she takes them and she gives them she sneaks them out in the middle of the night and puts a quilt at each person. And there's a king who wants to get a quilt, and he thinks he should have one because it's the most beautiful thing. And she sort of stands up to him and tells him how he needs to go out and take care of other people before she would give him a quilt. And I just sat there and I read her this children's book, and it was very emotionally intense for the two of us. And then I told her that I didn't know if I would see her again, and I told her what an honor it was to take care of her. And I said I'm planning to come back in a couple days, and said goodbye to her. And she actually passed away the next day. And I didn't get to see her, but I had this moment of really being able to be very present with someone when I couldn't do anything medically. There wasn't anything more that medicine was going to do, but I could be there in a healing way with her and her family, and it made a tremendous difference. And they actually invited me to come to her services, her memorial service. And when I got to the little thing afterwards, the gathering, there was that book sitting on their little arrangement of their pictures and everything, that book that I had read. And for me, that was one of my top moments of being a doctor. And one of the things that is great about this particular practice is that they are open to me doing that kind of medicine. And that while it may not be exactly what everybody's doing or what's the usual, when I said, I'd like to do home visits, that's something that's important, they found a way for it to work. And were really supportive of that, and of allowing me to really feel that I could keep taking care of the patient all the way until the last minute that they needed me.